All right, welcome to Ring Takes here, people. It's WrestleMania season taking place this weekend, the showcase of the mortals, the granddaddy of them all, the grandest stage of them all. WrestleMania is here. We got Sonny the Man Eagle Kane from Wrestling Spotlight with us. We're going to be making our picks, going over the card, giving our thoughts. Join us.
One, two, oh my God, so close. He kicked out. He kicked out. He kicked.
All right, there we go. Third time, fourth time's a charm. We're here. It's WrestleMania season, people. It's time to make our picks for WrestleMania 42. We've been waiting a long time to get here. Lots of ups and downs, roller coaster ups and downs, left and right, questionable booking, injuries. We're finally here. We're here with Brian. I'm Daniel. We're here with Wrestling Spotlight's own Sonny the Man Eagle Kane. Thank you, as always, joining us for this, Sonny. Lewis is on vacation. We're going to have to talk about that when contracts come up, that if he's going on any type of tropical vacation, he has to take us with him. But hopefully he's having a good time out there in El Salvador. Shout out to him. But we're doing this. He gave us our pick, so he won't miss a beat on this one. Let's get right into it. It's WrestleMania season. I believe Brian, you said you were watching WrestleMania 10 this week.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched WrestleMania 17. That's my favorite WrestleMania. Sonny, I know this is off the cuff, but what's your favorite WrestleMania?
Mm.
Uh, 17.
Probably WrestleMania 3 with Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Ricky Steamboat.
Yes, that is a great
Going
one.
at it. That's probably one of my all-time favorites.
That was in Detroit, Michigan. You got Hogan and Andre. You got
I
Macho
like that
Man.
too. I started to say that as well.
You got Macho Man and Ricky Dragon Steamboat. I like 17. Brian was watching number 10. That took place in Madison Square Garden. That was Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, brother versus brother. Lex Luger versus Yokozuna. Bret Hart versus Yokozuna in the double main event. I think that was Macho Man's last match for the WWF at the time, before going to
think it was,
WCW
yeah.
as well too.
I
And of
think he
course,
left after that.
the ladder match with HBK and Razor
Yes.
Ramon. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is the
So-
primary reason why I always watch that WrestleMania 10 back every year. I love that match.
It's a pretty good show, top to bottom. WrestleMania 3, I watched it about 2 months ago in January. It was just on when they first uploaded the library and stuff like that. And that was a great show too. Just a spectacle in the Silverdome. Monumental times. But WrestleMania 42 taking place in Las Vegas. Night one is here. We have the card. Let's get into it. We have, in the first match, Vision with I Show Speed. Internet darling, internet megastar, I Show Speed, joining the Vision, going up against the Usos in LA Knight. I Show Speed has kind of been getting in the way of the Usos and LA Knight and all the shenanigans on Monday Night Raw. But here we are. Who do you guys have in this one between these two? Heated matchup, a lot of history between LA Knight and the Vision, even with the Usos the past couple months. What do you guys make of this one?
Well, obviously, this is one of they're calling it an attraction match because you got a celebrity involved. I mean, like you said, Daniel. I mean, this is the story that's been playing out on Monday Night Raw with the I Show Speed getting involved. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago that every appearance he's made at every wrestling appearance that he's made, it usually involves him getting crushed or getting destroyed. So I really think he's So he's literally in this match just to have another viral. I have no idea what they're going to have planned, but I can only imagine that he's probably going to get smashed or get destroyed, and the video is probably going to get over 100 million views as a result of it. Speed is actually a great athlete. I remember watching videos of him racing another fellow influencer. I forget that guy's name. I think it was Ashton or whatever his name is. Speed is quite an athlete to say the least. But I definitely have the baby faces going out on top here, LA Knight and the Usos. It's unfortunate that LA Knight is not in a bigger role for WrestleMania. I mean, I would have loved in this case for him to be maybe in the ladder match for the IC title or in a prominent match against someone. I mean, great thing that he's on the card, but you just hope that that he would be in a more prominent position. But I got the LA Knight and the Usos coming out on top.
Who do you have, Sonny, in this one?
I'm like a division. I think they are so new to the story that they're probably going to continue to get the W for a little bit. I like the angle of using the young fella in there as part of their shenanigan involvement. It's going to be interesting to see how the Vision goes about reestablishing themselves once Brian Breaker and Bronson Reed return. It's going to be interesting to see how Seth Rollins goes after he gets by the ring general. It's going to be interesting to see if Seth Rollins is forming a new Vision to go against the old Vision. There's a lot of heat between Seth and Paul Heyman right now, but I'm going with the Vision coming out on top again because they are a young upstart. They've just gotten the titles, and I don't think they're going to change the momentum at this point. So maybe during Backlash, their next pay-per-view, but I think it's too soon for a switch, even in a non-title match now.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Sonny. I'm gonna go with the Vision in terms of this group. One, just winning the tag team titles, and I think the Usos are kind of in that place where they don't really need a win. They can be up and down. LA Knight desperately needs a win, but I think right now for the Vision right now, in terms of building momentum, because obviously there's something that they're going to continue to be building, obviously with the titles, obviously with the storyline with Seth Rollins. They got iShow Speed in the mix. And I think it would piss a lot of people off. It would piss a lot of people off if they picked up the win and he got the pin. I think that would whoever's going to take that pin is going to be up for debate. But I think it's in the right direction if the Vision win this one and continue to have some type of momentum, because they lost so much momentum, especially with the injuries to Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. Everything was up in the air. They need something desperately, and especially to have a celebrity of this case on the team and in WrestleMania. I think it will be smart for them to give the win to the Vision here. Yeah, I think that's the best thing. I think that would be the better option. As you were saying, Brian, for LA Knight, in terms of being in a better position, it's just tough right now in terms of where he was. Seth Rollins getting injured, I think that had a lot to do with it last year, kind of derailing him. And it's just been so up and down. I don't know what his trajectory is. I don't think they move him to SmackDown. I don't know what to do with LA Knight at this point.
I'm liking LA Knight in terms of his wrestling improvements. Love to hear him on the mic. He's energetic. He's pumped up. I just think he's a little like Pat McAfee at the moment. I think he's in the wrong slot. I think they need to be pushing LA more as a singles, and let's see what he could do in terms of getting some real title belt wins going and telling his darn story. This is a case of the creatives, in my opinion, have dropped the ball on telling LA Knight's story. They just keep pairing him up in unlikely contests where he gets the lower end of the stick, and that's hurting him more than helping him, in my opinion, at this point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, did they drop the ball with LA Knight, or did LA Knight drop the ball with LA Knight? Because WWE Unreal would show you that, yeah, he kind of is a little bit accountable for it. I mean, they featured the Money in the Bank spot, how he didn't do what Triple H kind of laid out for him, and they kind of that's kind of been used as an example to say, this is the reason why he's not where he should be.
The botches in the ring and stuff like that, in terms of the corner turnbuckle move, that I don't think he should do. He should change it up a little bit. But that whole thing at Money in the Bank was overblown. Like, they still got the result they wanted. I don't know.
But the way they presented it on the show, they made it seem like it was such a big thing that he didn't do what Triple H laid out. So it's like, yeah.
I don't think he should be in the doghouse for that. I don't. He's still got enough buzz to be on the right trajectory. But me and Sonny are going the Vision. Brian and Lewis are going LA Knight, and the Usos picking up the win in that one. Let's keep moving on. We got an unsanctioned match. I know Lewis has a problem with this type of matchup because of the rules and the name of it. But we got an unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. This has been heavy. This has gotten where this match just happened out of nowhere, obviously with Drew McIntyre not being in the championship picture anymore, Jacob Fatu not really ascending as yet into that title picture as yet. These two guys have come to blows. It's been heated. It's been heavy promo after heavy promo, especially from Drew McIntyre, bringing up Jacob Fatu's prison sentence and past life and stuff like that. But who do you guys have in this one between these two in this highly heated fight?
Sonny, you can go first on this one.
All breaks, all gas, no breaks. Jacob Fatu, I think he gets his day. He's been building up to this for a little while. Drew McIntyre is just such a competitor that it doesn't matter at this point if he gets the final W or not. But Jacob Fatu needs the W, I think, to continue to tell his strength and will as a competitor and to get some revenge for being dragged through a car windshield. I didn't understand that whole scenario completely, and so I watched it a couple of times to see if I missed something.
They still didn't say who attacked him.
I think the attacks on the wrestlers backstage, if I can indulge for just a second or two on this, I've just gone off the chain too far. I think we need to go back to the center of the ring, iron out our closet issues in the center of the ring, and do more in-ring wrestling. I just think we're spending too much time backstage, getting caught up in all the shenanigans that go on backstage, and it's taken away from the action in the ring. But I think Jacob's going to come out smelling like a rose in this and go back to why he's got 2 or 3 ring names at this point in time. And the Samoan werewolf, which I love, and all gas, no breaks. But he's really got to pick up the pace with that to keep that flowing. And I think he gets the win here over Drew. I do think it's going to be one of the harder hitting matches of the night, though, physically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So when we were on Wrestling Spotlight last week, Gerald was putting up the graphics for both Night 1 and Night 2, and I actually didn't even realize that this match was actually going to be the match that's going to be one of the matches featured on ESPN for this show. So it's actually the way it's formatted. I actually think this is going to be the first match of the night, the first match of the entire show with Jacob and Drew. And they're in a big spot that way because the first hour of WrestleMania is going to be on Saturday night. It's going to be on ESPN2. So essentially, to the fans who haven't purchased the ESPN app or who haven't purchased the membership to watch WrestleMania, that match is pretty much being put in the spot of get people to buy the ESPN app, which it's a high pressure spot. But definitely these two guys are definitely the caliber of athlete that they can definitely live up to the hype, so to say, and I definitely believe they're gonna over deliver in this matchup. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I have Jacob Fatu coming out on top. I feel like he needs the win a little bit more. We talked about
excuse me,
Drew McIntyre, obviously. I watched a video that he had posted on social media, kind of being sarcastic about the talent being in Las Vegas and how fans typically just come up to them with no regard for space or anything. And he kind of was sarcastically saying, "Yeah, guys, when you come up, don't give a shit about our personal life. Don't give a shit about us or anything." And like it was a very sarcastic video. And but once again, Drew's the MVP on social media. But like I said, I have Jacob coming out on top. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. I know these guys are gonna go all out, knowing in the back of their mind that they're gonna be featured on ESPN, and they gotta get those some of those casual fans out there who haven't purchased the membership. They gotta get them to buy and enjoy WrestleMania. So I have Jacob, and also you have the rumors out there of Drew possibly, well, not possibly, but he's going to be doing a movie in the coming months, Highlander.
Yep.
So you have that out there. So I think based upon all that, Jacob is probably going to come out on top.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jacob as well. This is our first sweep here of the night. It just makes sense for him to get this opportunity. He had that match at SummerSlam, the cage match with Solo and stuff like that, and everybody got involved, and that was kind of his last big moment outside of that Saturday night's main event match I believe he had.
With Solo, yeah.
Yeah, with Solo. So
Way
it's just
back.
like,
I mean, that was like SummerSlam almost.
yeah, so it's just looking at that, it's like this is a big moment for him on this stage to get this moment. And I feel like a guy like Drew McIntyre, who has been incredible, as you said, Brian, as the MVP of social media for WWE, if anybody can get him over and put him in a good spot going forward and getting heat into the summer in terms of momentum, especially on SmackDown, I think it's Drew. I think Drew's going to put him over. They've already been doing crazy things and attacking each other and going after each other and stuff like that, getting personal. But I feel like this is Jacob's moment. We've been waiting for this moment. A lot of people have been waiting for this moment, saying he's going to be the champion. He's going to be this. He's going to do this. I feel like this is a good stepping stone for him to get into that next main event level. And he's always been there. He hasn't been out of that realm since being on SmackDown. He's always been a top attraction, been in the main events multiple times and stuff like that. But I feel like this is something that's going to cement him going forward. It's going to be a signature win for him in terms of going forward. And potentially, depending on what happens at the end of night one, he can be a potential challenger for either Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton, depending on what happens in this match. So I think this is going to do wonders for Jacob Fatu. I know they're going to put on a banger. I know it's going to be crazy. It's an unsanctioned match, so they're going to be doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff there. So I'm definitely looking forward to this match, but I'm going Jacob as well.
And who but me wants to see Jacob smile, show his $1 million smile? He went out and had 11 teeth dealt with, and I'd like to see the work from that. I mean, no pun intended. The man never smiles; he's always angry. So
all gas, no brakes,
and just never ever happy.
Yeah, and just to add to that, since we're talking about his teeth, since that was the primary reason why he was taken off TV.
Yep.
Yeah,
they really do need to kind of get to the bottom of who actually attacked them. They need to actually make that actual story, because that's a huge story that you can use for his next feud. Now, just imagine if it was somebody that was a prominent main eventer. That way he can get that main event feud. I mean, technically with Drew right now, he's kind of in that main event spot.
Yeah,
but you could take that storyline, that classic storyline of who done it. Like, it's your classic storyline. I mean, there's so many ways you can go, so many directions you can go into for whoever attacked them, and the fact that they haven't followed up on that or haven't even really mentioned it, it's kind of a travesty, because it's a simple story.
Yeah, it's a simple story, easy story to tell. It should have been Drew. That would have helped this story at least. The fact that they just kind of forgotten about it is kind of the more questionable thing about this whole thing, because if you're going to do something like that to that degree and take him off TV and have him injured and stuff like that and make a big deal out of it, and then it's a big part of his story and his journey. You know what I mean?
I have another story going forward. Logan Paul and Tom Brady have gone at it back and forth, and now that we have been in the heat for weeks, it seems like, promoting WrestleMania, that's fallen by the wayside. I'd like to see more of that build up. So just to see how far it goes.
Yeah, with Tom Brady being part owner of the Raiders, they're in the Reliance Stadium, Oakland Stadium there. I mean, not Oakland anymore. Sorry, Oakland Raider fans. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
in Las Vegas Stadium, right? In the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium there. I could expect Tom Brady to make an appearance in some shape or form.
That's what I'm counting on. I'm counting on something more from that, and not just dropping it all together. But there's been no angle to it. There's been no the forward show of it. We've not heard peep about it since
at least
about 4 weeks ago.
No mention from WWE, at least, which I'm like, they're probably trying to keep it hush hush or nothing's going to happen. So that's where I'm like, I'm hoping something does happen.
Love Logan Paul. I think he's phenomenal.
But we're all going Jacob on that one. All right. Let's
Yes, sir.
look at our first title match for the Women's World Championship. We got Stephanie Vaquer defending her title up against Liv Morgan, who recently had a music video. WWE just throwing out the budget. But what do you guys make of this one? First title match on the night between Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dan. I just had to laugh at that comment you just made. WWE just throwing out the
Apparently, the money's no issue.
I will say this much about the music video. I mean, I'm assuming the reason you say that is because it was just so random. Because they did a teaser the week before and they just released it, and you wouldn't think to release a music video on your go home show for the biggest show of the fucking year to release a music video. Obviously, singing wasn't Liv's first. She didn't have any high aspirations to be a singer or anything. I mean, the song is decent for me personally, but
I'm fine if it was the intro to a WrestleMania entrance. You know what I mean? Like if they do the video thing and that's the intro for her coming out, I'm fine with that. But as a standalone music video,
I wonder if they just did that because more than likely it's probably going to be her new entrance theme, and there's probably going to be a special entrance at WrestleMania of this song, some type of presentation or something.
I thought that
as far as we know, she might come out dancing to this song.
Yeah,
as a part of her entrance. But like I stated last week, as far as this feud goes, I know we've been complaining a lot about the brawls that have taken place, the little breakup brawls between everybody for these feuds. But this is one feud where it's definitely helped out a lot. I mean, I've definitely gotten the sense of it's on site between Stephanie and Liv Morgan, and it's definitely helped them tremendously. I mean, even though the spot last week, a couple of weeks ago with Liv Morgan and Roxanne looked as physical and looked as devastating as it did. It definitely did help the feud. I mean, the physicality was definitely a huge benefit. And now you see these two women. Now it's just like now we can't be in the same ring or be in the same area together if we're not fighting. And I like that aura that the feud is taking. But I definitely have Liv coming out on top as the new champion. I feel like my prediction is that Raquel is going to help assist in some way. Liv comes out on top, and then while Liv is champion, eventually her and Raquel are going to break up, and then we're going to get those two one-on-one down the line. Stephanie Vaquer has done a hell of a job as Women's World Champion. The character work, everything has been magnificent. I just feel as though Liv winning the Rumble, that there's a lot better story options down the line with Liv Morgan being champion again. So I'm going Liv.
Mm-hmm. Who do you have on this one, Sonny?
I'm like Liv Morgan. She's got the look back in her face again. Or in her eye again. She's aggressive. I think there's a running deal with her and Rodriguez at this point as to why are you helping me lose and things of that nature. And I think when Liv wins the title, that's going to be up for grabs between the two of them, and we're going to see them go at it. I think Judgment Day is going to continue to break up over time. I think the Stars have run their course as a group together. I've been predicting this for a few months now. I think they've made each other shine so well that when they're together, they outshine each other, and it waters them down instead of helps them at this point. And I just think the clubhouse is going to end up going its separate ways. I think Liv and Dominik Mysterio are going to stay together, and we're going to see more from that. But aside from the group thing, I think that's going to start to unravel when Liv wins the world title at WrestleMania.
Yep. And just as an aside, Liv was on ESPN First Take today.
Yep,
she did have the bump on the forehead, a couple of bumps under her eyes, and she did admit that she feels a lot better than she looks, that she will be competing this weekend. So that speculation can just go.
Saw that on X.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Liv will be competing. Yeah.
So good thing that she's ready to go. I think we're gonna make it a clean sweep here. Lewis actually picked Stephanie Vaquer, so Thinking that Stephanie's going to walk out as champ. As for me, I'm going to go Liv Morgan. I think it's just the trajectory that they've been going on with telling the story. They're putting a lot of presentation into her, giving in these promo segments, even though I didn't agree with them and stuff like that. They've obviously put her in a position of power in this one. And I feel like they've been kind of booking her like the baby face in this one, with her getting the fight back on Stephanie. She's getting the presentation. She's getting the music videos. All this stuff going on at the right time. I feel like they're positioning her for something big. As you both alluded to, I think there's a little bit more meat on the bone with the Judgment Day, even though we all kind of feel like the Judgment Day needs to end at some point. I feel like with Raquel, there's something there with her over the past year where I think she's outgrown her role of just being the heavy and the muscle for Liv. And these women do have a history between each other, so I feel like there's a lot of story there for these two to tell in terms of building up the women's division, at least until we get the next integration of stars coming in, or returning stars, or whatever the next plan is for, even after Liv and Raquel, in my opinion, that this can set up something more down the line. Yeah, but I'm going Liv Morgan. I think it's just time. I think it's been kind of in the plans for WWE. She's always been close, finishing second fiddle. I know she had the championship last year and stuff like that. After defeating Rhea Ripley, she got hurt. All this stuff going on there. But I think it's time for her to regain that title and actually put something together, especially if it means the dissolving of the Judgment Day. And I feel like this is a part of that. So I got Liv Morgan. Brian, you have Liv Morgan. Sonny, you have Liv Morgan.
And all the work she's done promoting it on radio and TV spots too. I mean, just on Next Day at Home, she had 2 or 3 different on the air interviews saying how she was real ready to go, and her scars and bumps on her face didn't matter. She felt good, and she was ready to get the title back. So when you have that kind of appeal going into it, that's your mindset, and that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I say this all the time, Brian and Daniel, but not every match comes out the way it's intended to. So you get out there, and momentum just carries you. And a classic case was when the Ring General beat Jey Uso that night. Jey was supposed to have won that. So, I mean, it does flip. Egos do get in the way. Imagine, and I used this scenario a couple weeks ago on the show, I think. Imagine going to work and getting to put your hands on the worst co-worker there for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. These guys do it day in and day out for 45 minutes. So, I mean, their temperaments get in the way of things. Flukes happen. Happened with me on my title belt win, but I had to be healed to make that happen. So hats off to Liv and her pursuit of outshining the champion at this point. I think she's really polishing herself up really well for herself at this point in time.
Yeah,
Very
for
pleased with her.
For sure. Yeah, but we're all going Liv Morgan. Lewis is going Stephanie Vaquer to retain. We'll see what happens with that one. Let's get into another title match on the night. We got AJ Lee taking on Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This has been going on since WrestlePalooza. Kind of been on the back burner. Not really outside of that promo that they had the other week with AJ Lee alluding to her being Becky Lynch's daughter's favorite wrestler. So that didn't sit well with the man, Becky Lynch. A lot of fire going into this one. But what do you guys make of this one? Who do you guys have between these two, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, for the Intercontinental title?
The man has come around, or she's finally going to come around and finally get a dub over AJ Lee. Like you said, Daniel, this has been going on since WrestlePalooza, which was in September. And if you notice, throughout the months, AJ Lee has come out on top every single time that she's up against Becky Lynch. Every time they're in a match, they showed it in the promo package that she taps Becky Lynch out. But I think that this WrestleMania match is, in my opinion, is pretty much going to be the end of this feud. I feel that Becky is going to come out on top. I feel they're going to have a tremendous match. They're going to leave it all out there. I'm very surprised that this match didn't have a stipulation to it. You would think with the months and months of story that they've already told that it would it would conclude in a stipulation match at WrestleMania. No big deal though. I mean, it's still going to be a great match between both of them. But I just feel like Becky's going to come out on top. I don't think there's any more. Realistically, I don't think there's any more story that can be told because you had AJ. Yeah. AJ kind of had her moment at Elimination Chamber, winning the IC title in Chicago. So she did have that moment. I mean, realistically, I don't think there's nowhere else to go with this feud. I just think that Becky, that this match is more than likely going to be the end with Becky coming out on top, and then AJ is probably going to go away for another month or two, and then come back in a completely new feud.
How do you have, Sonny?
I'm with Brian a little bit on this one. I think AJ had her moment in Chicago, and I just the comment, your daughter likes me more than she likes you as a wrestler, was just too low below the belt for me. That was as distasteful of a comment, I thought, as when Charlotte Flair was told her 3 marriages didn't work out for her. And why are we allowing the wrestlers, men and women, to hit so low below the belt to get the mindset game going? It's never been, wrestling interviews have never been this drawn out in the history of the game. I mean, this has to be a new era in the industry, and to continue to allow this to happen. So I'm going strongly with Becky the Man Lynch. I think she's fired up enough to go over the top, and I think it's her time. Becky's hinted toward retirement. I'd hate to see that happen at this point. I've come to respect her as a performer, but we all have our day, and I'd like to see her go out on top as champion after that low blow comment. I just lost all kinds of respect for AJ Lee when I heard that as a professional. So.
Okay, you guys are going Becky Lynch. I'm going AJ Lee. I'm going to side with Lewis on this one. Me and him are going AJ Lee. I don't think Becky needs it because that will make her a 3-time IC champion. And where I think the women's IC title is going, I think there's a different direction that they can eventually go in here. But I think AJ Lee still has a little bit more to go. I feel like she's back, at least for right now, until she's ready to take a sabbatical. I think it's too soon to do that. Her recently just winning the title and having a month with the title right now, especially with the state of the women's division, I just don't know if they're going to take it off of her. I know Becky Lynch is the more consistent worker, been around a lot longer, but I just don't know if they're ready to make Becky Lynch a 3-time champ with this thing. I think there's a little bit more meat on the bone they can do with AJ Lee. I think there's a potential matchup that you can have with Natalya. I know that Natalya and Maxine kind of been put on the back burner of WrestleMania and stuff like that. But I feel like there's something that can be there as well. I feel like there's something that can be potentially there with Maxine Dupree down the line. There's been rumors of her joining the Vision with Logan Paul, Austin Theory talking to her. I think that's something that they're slowly building, that maybe she can be in the potential challenger for that as well. So I think there's a little bit more meat on the bone that you can do that with AJ Lee than a heel Becky Lynch at this point in time. If you're going to have her go up against AJ Lee, go up against these heels night to night and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to go with AJ Lee. I'm going to go with AJ Lee for that purpose. I just think there's a little bit more there with her as champion than Becky Lynch at this point in time. Anything else you guys want to add, or are we good to go?
I mean, I can understand where you're coming from with AJ holding on to the title. I would love if she does retain. Like, if she's gonna lose, let's let her lose to an up and coming female.
That's what I'm thinking.
Somebody she could definitely put over. Now I know Jordan Grace is on SmackDown, but she would be perfect in that spot. Somebody like her, somebody of her caliber, somebody that's on the up and coming. So somebody like that.
Yeah. And now to think about it, when you're talking about SmackDown, we're on the women's mid-card title. The United States women's title, right, as of right now, is not even on the card. So that's the state of that over there with Julia and the women's United States title. I know there was injuries to Chelsea Green and stuff like that, but for this just to not be on the card, I think that's a disservice. And I don't know how they rebuild that up. But yeah, me and Lewis are going AJ Lee. You guys, Sonny and Brian, are going Becky Lynch. Let's continue to move on here. We got another women's tag match. I don't know if these are in order. I'm looking at Wikipedia as my guide here. I don't know if these are in order, but that'll be 3 women's matches in a row and titles in a row. We got the women's WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The Irresistible Forces going up against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and the Bella Twins. This has kind of been wash, rinse, repeat over the past couple weeks of Raw and SmackDown, where the women are just getting in each other's matches. I think the singles matches for these have been pretty good. We got Lyra and Charlotte on Raw last week. Who did Bayley face last week? Alexa Bliss. So we've been getting some good matches. I just don't like the interference in this. I understand why they're doing it, to build this up like it's a rivalry, like it's intense and stuff like that. But who do you guys have in this one for the women's tag team titles?
Well, like I said on Wrestling Spotlight, the whole reason why this Irresistible Forces team exists, this is about Lash Legend. Like it's like the whole team concept is really all about Lash Legend. Now, obviously, Nia is dominant and one of their best heels, or the top heel in the women's division on the roster. But the team is really about the continued progression of Lash Legend. They're essentially using the women's tag team titles to feature her in a prominent spot, and she continues to progress and improve, as the months go on. So that's why I have the Irresistible Forces retaining. Putting the title on them before Elimination Chamber was the best decision ever. Like I said, the women's tag team division is kind of babyface heavy, and honestly, when you're up against Lash and Nia size wise, even if you're a heel, you still come off as a babyface to when you're going up against both of them anyway. So, and it really is all about Lash. So, because of that, I got the Irresistible Forces retaining.
Who do you got in this one, Sonny?
I'm really liking Beatty and Lara on this. I think they have gotten better as a tag team from where they once were. I think they're more in time now. I think it would tell an interesting story of how they defeated Legend and Nia Jax. I will say this about Nia Jax. So I predicted a few months ago that Nia would make a return, and she did. And I think she's going to keep trimming her weight down until she's a competitive singles competitor again. I think that's where that's heading. I don't think her and Legend will forever be joined at the hip. But Lara and Beatty seem to be joined at the hip more to me at this point. They seem hungry for a title win. I think Charlotte and Alexa will get it here at some point again, but I think it's too soon for that right now, as they are enjoying the build-up of being welcomed out as babies at this point, which is something that Charlotte had wanted a few months back, if y'all recall from the story of it, when she got booed for a time on Raw. When Charlotte came out to the ring, she wasn't really used to getting booed at that point before she hooked up with Blitz. So anyway, I think Beatty and Lara would be a new twist to the story, and I think they're deserving of a chance at gold.
Leading up to this, especially with everything happening on SmackDown and Raw the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking about picking Bayley and Lyra, but I think they're gonna do the opposite with that.
Oh,
I think with them cheating and stuff like that, I think they're gonna keep trying to do it, but I think it's gonna lead to a breakup potentially. I feel like something's gonna happen there, because that was originally my pick, Bayley and Lyra, because I'm like, I feel like they've been hitting the right thing, the right cues. A lot of talk has been about Bayley not getting her moment and stuff like that, and her being in the wrong position and stuff like that. So I was kind of leaning towards that, but I feel like to continue to build up this tag team reign, kind of similar to the Vision, Lash and Nia need to keep these titles and continue to build towards being dominant. So when a babyface team does emerge, maybe Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, that we actually have a rivalry between the two and actually enough build and enough domination from the champs that it makes that win feel a little bit more memorable rather than just a WrestleMania shock. So that's why I'm going Irresistible Forces. I think they should be dominant in this match. I don't know where the Bellas fit in this. I think it's Nikki Bella dealing with the ankle injury and stuff like that. But I'm like,
they don't fit.
They don't. And I really wish this was the Kabuki Warriors or.
I don't think they have earned their spot. I think they've just been pushed into it. And like you were about to say, not trying to interrupt you, but the Kabuki Warriors have earned a slot, and they're not in it. So scratch my head and go figure.
I don't know where they fit into this. I don't know why they put them in this moment. I understand there's some star power or whatever with the Bellas, but it's just like in terms of what the women's tag team division has been, they haven't been in it. So for this not to happen, and then on the flip side of that, not to get Asuka versus Io at WrestleMania as of right now, is a Debbie Downer too, because it's like you don't even have the Kabuki Warriors in there. If you wanted to split up Asuka and Kairi Sane, you could have put Io and Kairi in this match and then have Asuka screw them out of the titles, and maybe that continues their feud. But I don't know. They have not been able to be in this moment, in this matchup. But me, Brian, and Lewis are going Irresistible Forces. Sonny's going Bayley and Lyra. I want Bayley and Lyra to win in my head, but I'm just going with booking.
That's half the battle. If it's in your head, that's you're halfway there.
I just can't. Right now, I think Lash and Nia deserve those titles to continue, at least the bad guys, the heels, to keep building up those titles. And what better way to do that is to get a WrestleMania win. That's it for that one. Let's keep moving on to a grudge match here. Seth Rollins and Gunther. Gunther answering the call for Paul Heyman to take on Seth Rollins after essentially Oba Femi took out Brock Lesnar for his situation there. This has been a match that's been thrown together. I've been looking at this match as an AEW match on the PLE. They just throw two great wrestlers together, let it happen in the ring. They kind of added a little bit more story to this, where Gunther was sick of Seth Rollins as he formed the vision, kind of on that trajectory there last year with SummerSlam, with Gunther losing the Punk, Seth coming in and cashing in and stuff like that, and getting the glory, and they kind of went away from Gunther. Some heat there. Gunther made it personal between the two. But who do you guys have in this match between these two?
Seth freaking Rollins. I think this match has been too thrown together, too fast. I think it should have skipped WrestleMania and maybe been built up a backlash. The only thing that makes sense out of the whole story content is Paul Heyman owes the ring general a favor. And now we're all kind of hinged on what the world that favor could be. But we've been here before with CM Punk, and you owe me a favor. So it's a retold storyline that hasn't been fully explained at this point. But I think when Seth Rollins wins this, he and Paul are somehow going to iron things out, and they're going to go against the general again. I don't think this is going to be the last time we see these two fight, but they could have done a much better job of building this up than they did. They just put these two athletes together, had another slot to fill the gaps, guys, and said, run with it. And they've gone out there to kind of unsure of how to pull this off. So I don't think the legend killer Gunther is going to kill off Seth Rollins. I think he's too strong at this point. I think he's going to go over the top here and get the W.
Yeah. Well, Sonny, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I'm actually going to go with Gunther for this match. First, I want to say, as an aside, that promo segment that those two guys had in the ring was tremendous. You're talking about like Daniel said, this match was essentially thrown together. We've all known for weeks that initially Seth Rollins and Gunther had other penciled in opponents for WrestleMania, and this match was put together as a result of those opponents being injured. And the fact that these two guys literally only had 2 to 3 weeks to try to formulate something, try to come up with some reason for why they were fighting. That promo segment was as clear as day. Because I do remember, Gunther's world heavyweight, title reign, and there were times when you would ask yourself, why hasn't Seth Rollins and Gunther one on one for the world title not happened yet? And you used it perfectly as an example, saying you were too busy running around with Paul Heyman to step up and challenge me when I was champion, which. I mean, you pretty much calling somebody's bluff and saying that they're weak, that they didn't even want to step up to you, and that was a great way to kind of create some form of animosity between both men, aside from just doing another pull apart brawl. So I'm glad that they went in that direction. It's gonna be a great match. Honestly, it might end up stealing night one. Honestly, with what these two guys can do, but I got Gunther coming out on top. I'm predicting that this is where you're going to get the return of Braun Breaker for him to get involved, cost Seth Rollins the match, and then Gunther comes out on top as a result.
But how about this? How about if Seth Rollins pulls out his masked men again, and we get 8 masked men guys around the ring around Gunther?
If I was Seth Rollins, I think we can conclude that the masked man gimmick should be on pause for a little while, or at least permanently. I mean, once Braun Breaker comes back, and then you can really delve back into this Seth Rollins versus the Vision feud. I think we can stay away from the masked men after that.
I think the masked men have a point in it to be shared. I don't think we've heard the whole story. I'm not buying the lineup of Logan Paul and his new partner at all. I'm not trusting that alliance, and I think there's a lot of Seth Rollins going on here that people are not seeing the whole picture of yet. I don't think he's going to be the megastar that he was before he got hurt and come back and just get rolled over. I think he's going to come back as the megastar that he was there at WrestleMania.
For this one, I got to go Gunther. I still think the match there with Brock is there for SummerSlam. I think Braun Breaker is going to return and cost him the match in some way, shape, or form. Maybe Gunther doesn't know that the spear is coming for Seth and stuff like that, and he's down or whatever the case may be. And maybe that can cause some friction between Gunther and the Vision, Gunther and Paul. Basically saying my client helped you in some way, shape, or form, and maybe that creates a rift between those two. But I think there's position here that Braun actually comes back. Hopefully he comes back. And he takes out Seth Rollins, right, and helps Gunther win this match, setting up their feud down the line. Because I think the Vision, I think that would be awesome for the Vision to have Braun Breaker at this time, to come back into the fold and really continue that story with Seth Rollins where we left off. Let's kick it back up between Seth and Braun and really kick up that animosity where they kicked him out the group. You cost them a match at WrestleMania. Now it's a blood feud between the two. You cost me on the biggest stage. You cost me a big win against the Ring General XYZ, and continue that for Gunther. I know he's been the kind of guy that's been like, hey, I want to do it on my own. I want to be honorable, even though it's me. I want me to be the guy responsible, and maybe that can kind of continue on down into Backlash and onto SummerSlam, whatever the case may be. But I feel like Gunther versus Brock is still there at some capacity down the line. And I think Gunther continues to look strong in this one. They've been building him. I think it'll be interesting, but I got Gunther winning that one in that matchup.
At least we forget on the tad footnote, not trying to dominate the show here in any way, but Jacob Fatu was also a masked man. So if alliances are formed at this point, wouldn't it be awesome to see Jacob and Braun Breaker go at it?
Yeah.
And that's actually something that they've teased on Monday Night Raw many times in the past before when Jacob Fatu was with Solo Sikoa, that they actually teased a couple of interactions between him and Braun Breaker and the crowd erupted. So that is definitely a program that they can delve into in the future.
Yeah, I think it's on the table for sure. Let's get into the main event of night one. We're here. the Pat McAfee Bowl for the WWE Championship. We got Randy Orton taking on Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes does have the WWE Championship. He broke into Pat McAfee's Thunderdome and got the belt back. Is it a crime if you steal your own stuff back?
Technically, Daniel, based on the video, and Pat McAfee mentioned this, he didn't break in. He knocked on the door, and the guy that was cleaning up let him in. So
yes.
He didn't break in. He was let in, and he took back his property. Yeah.
I mean, didn't O.J. Simpson get in trouble for that? But never mind. This has been building up. Pat McAfee has been a thorn in Cody Rhodes' side, especially with Randy Orton and Pat McAfee taking up the partnership between each other. Pat McAfee stealing his title. All these promos. Not quite where we think Pat McAfee should be. This should be a hell of a match. Who do you guys have in this one between these two, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, for the WWE Undisputed title?
I mean, you guys were talking about it all off the air. I mean, this whole scenario for the last 2 weeks has been completely fucking atrocious. And like I also said, you know, I've been trying to mentally get away from this feud with Pat McAfee getting involved because again, I mentioned it on Wrestling Spotlight. I mentioned it on last week's episode. I mentioned it on the week prior to last week's episode. Again, all that history there right in front of you, all that history you could have delved into, and yet you decided to go in this direction. First it was the celebrity involvement of Jelly Roll, and now you have the ESPN involvement of Pat McAfee. And for God's sake, this is Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, and it's frustrating because, you know, when I look at where Cody was, like for example, like we talked about the WrestleManias that were our favorites. One match that I watch every single year was from WrestleMania 32. It was the ladder match that opened up that show, and it actually was the last match Cody Rhodes was in before he ended up leaving. And when he was Stardust. I forgot, and I watch that match every year, and every time I see Cody come out, I look at him and say, like, dude, that's the world champion right now. And I say that as to say, like, man, this man has come such a long way from being Stardust to now being the face of the company, now main eventing now coming up on his fourth WrestleMania main event. Mm-hmm. And when I see that progression, and then you see the storytelling for him for the last 2 years, mind you, including Cena's story last year, it's just completely atrocious. And again, it really makes you ask the question: who is he feuding with right now at this point? Because it doesn't seem like he's feuding with Randy Orton. It seems like he's feuding with Pat McAfee. And it's fucking. And again, the story is right there. The history was right there. Why did you not delve into that history? Why are we involving celebrities? And it makes absolutely no fucking sense. But long story short, I got Randy Orton coming out on top to become a 15-time world champion. You don't have. I mean, the fact that Pat McAfee has been saying for the last 2 weeks, if Randy doesn't win, I'm not going to show my face. Not going to show my face again. I mean, I don't know if that was a clever way to try to get the fans to cheer for Cody Rhodes or not. But I just feel like with the news of that TKO was involved in Pat McAfee being around, that you're going to see a lot more Pat McAfee in the coming weeks. I mean, they've also teased this fucking tag team match at Backlash with Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee getting involved. I just think all of those factors just are going to allow for Randy Orton to come out on top and become a 15-time world champion. And it sucks because that should be a moment that we should be happy for, because Randy Orton hasn't held the title in years, and with the proper storytelling, it could be a bigger moment. But when he comes out on top, we're all just gonna be looking at it and just thinking, yeah, look at the bullshit storytelling that led up to this, and we're gonna be more thinking about Pat McAfee and not Randy Orton. I'm sorry if I went off on a tangent there. That's how frustrating this shit has been for me.
I'm used to it. I've been there almost a year with y'all. I'm used to it by now.
Who do you have in this one, Sonny?
My heart of hearts, I want Cody to win it, but and he's going in there with a different mindset for this match. So Cody's pulled some upsets before, but I think he's outgunned here, and I think this is going to be the biggest upset since Bruno Sammartino and my trainer, mentor, and friend, the late Ivan Koloff, when Koloff beat Bruno Sammartino in Madison Square Garden. I think a lot of people are going to boo this outcome at the end. And I think what they're going to boo a little bit more is it's been widely rumored today on X that The Rock is in Vegas. And I think we're going to finally smell a little bit of what The Rock's out there cooking. I don't think that storyline has gone away. I think that's why Pat McAfee is in play at this point in time. It's due to The Rock. The Rock said on his last show that he would be back for Cody. What better opportunity for The Rock to bounce back and get back into Cody's face? And I think at the end of all this, we're going to see a heel turn by Cody somewhere down the line. I think when Cody loses the title, that's going to shake him up. And I remember when Cody years ago was in AEW as a main eventer and was a heel. He plays as good a heel as he plays a babyface. You like him either way. And a guy who can do that, y'all, is a breadwinning, dangerous person because not everyone can play both sides of the fence. Mm-hmm. So I'm going for the Viper on this, but it's with mixed feelings. I think the timing sucks. I think The Rock sent in a bad ringer. I think he could have sent in anybody but Pat McAfee, but I'm putting all this on The Rock. I met The Rock some years ago when I was outreach for Rock Quinn for a wrestler. We had a misunderstanding of what I was asking The Rock to do, and all I was asking him to do was watch Rock Quinn for a wrestler on Triad Theater, and he sort of put himself up here and me below him. And I said, dude, it's not like that, but I love you anyway. And if you have time, watch it. I never heard from him again. But, the business gets to you. So that's the only negative thing I have to say about him. He could have been friendlier. But, when you're riding on top, it's easy to get the big head sometimes. But I don't think WWE is just going to drop The Rock's story. Maybe we don't see it here with Randy's 15th world title win, but I think The Rock is going to come into play here somewhere in this tale.
All right, so before you go, Daniel, I guess my question would be, if Rock is to get involved, what would be the end game? Would that be a one-on-one match with Cody at WrestleMania next year in Saudi Arabia?
Well, the end game of that would be he told Cody that he'd be back for him and that he would get his just revenge on him, and stripping him of his precious gold title would be a start in that general direction. But also the flip side of this is Cody is wanting The Rock to return so they can continue their feud as well. So it's not just The Rock wanting to come back. And The Rock sits on the head of the TKO board in real life. He's there. He's for sure there. And I think it's a classic case of the creatives have dropped this story a little bit too long at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm smelling what The Rock's cooking.
I've been going back and forth with this because it makes all the sense in the world. It looks like Cody's dead to rights. With Pat McAfee's involvement, the numbers game, the lurking of The Rock, and just the way the fans are reacting right now. In my heart, I want to pick Cody. In my heart, I want to pick Cody. But I just don't know if I can do it right now. It just makes too much sense for Randy to win. The deck is stacked. Even though we've seen the deck stacked against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania before, this feels a little different. It feels like the tide is turning. Everyone kind of wanted, even he wanted to drop the title to Drew McIntyre all those months ago. They put it back on him coming into here. And now you're looking at this Randy momentum, even though I don't like the Pac and McAfee pairing. If they're going to pay this off and they're going to continue this, and there's this partnership with ESPN, and it seems like there's a higher power, higher than Pat McAfee. I don't think they can reveal that if if Randy doesn't win the title. You know what I mean?
I know.
I don't
It tore
want
me
to
out to pick Randy.
I wish the booking was better for Randy here, but yeah, I got to go Randy Orton, unfortunately.
And I also want to add in one more thing. Sonny, the last couple of months of WWE creative has clearly shown that you can't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. I mean, now after WrestleMania 40, when Cody won the title, and leading up to that, you could give them the benefit of the doubt because the booking was great. But now these days, you can't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. You can't assume that they're gonna just put all the pieces together and then the dots are gonna connect and they're gonna use common sense and just give us the fans an entertaining show. That's not guaranteed anymore, especially as of 2020, as of last year and so far this year. Too many examples of them dropping the ball. I'm sorry, I can't give them that. I'm sorry.
I've given them that because they've had change over at the creative desk team. Road Dogg left, and they've had a couple in and out players this past year there.
They have changed the booking and creative and stuff like that. And reports are they wiped the slate clean with this WrestleMania. If anything, it shows that because of how up and down it's been, how unpredictable it's been, how not favorable, how bad it's been in my opinion, how in terms of just not hitting all the right points with each story. And it's clear that they changed things. That's been the number one thing. But it's just like, as to Brian, I just don't know. Maybe this is a reset for them. Maybe they get it all right. Maybe the expectations are so low that this blows us out the water with this match and this whole card of WrestleMania 42. But it's just like, I guess I just got to see it. Right? Because this whole thing, especially with this Pat McAfee thing getting involved, them not touching on the history between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I don't want them to do this after WrestleMania in terms of trying to touch on this history and stuff like that. If there was any moment to do that, it's right now, especially with Randy winning the chamber, Cody getting the title back. All the stars are aligned for these two to go at each other. The history is there. I don't want to hear about the history after this match. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about it. Don't try to put together a package or anything like that. Don't even.
They will. They will.
Even in this lead up, even in this lead up to this match, the promo package for this match, I don't want to see any history because you guys didn't touch on it for 6 weeks.
I got a question. What?
That's gonna be featured though. that official promo package that they're gonna show before the match. Oh yeah, they're gonna show all the stuff that they should have presented on TV for weeks.
They can't. They can't.
And then they're gonna throw in Pat McAfee in the middle.
And Jelly Roll is going to show up as well too. If Jelly Roll shows up during this match, my goodness, I don't know.
And my question is, I'm a huge Michael Pence Hayes fan of the Freebirds. I saw him for years. I saw him in Texas when Flair and I and Mama were there. Dynamite performer, but didn't he say a few weeks ago he was thinking about leaving the WWE creative team also?
Did he? Because if he did say that and he's thinking about it, just please step down.
I swear I thought I heard something come out somewhere about that.
Him and Pritchard, just please.
Yeah, just please. Honestly, I like Bruce Pritchard better when he was just doing the Something to Wrestle With podcast. When he was just doing that podcast and he wasn't working with WWE and he was just telling them stories week after week, that's when I was a bigger fan of his then. Yep, yeah, he needs to go too.
But yeah, we're going Randy Orton to win number 15. Are we happy about it the way it's happening? No. But do we think it's happening? Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, that's going to be night one. Let's keep moving on to night two. A special attraction match, especially being the first hour of WrestleMania free on ESPN. We got Femi versus Brock Lesnar. Femi, with his promo on Monday Night Raw, hit a different level to me. When you're able to stand across from Paul Heyman and deliver a promo essentially about a guy we don't really know too much about outside. He's a fighter, he's a warrior, he's a beast in the ring. To deliver a promo like that was captivating. It was different. It was a moment. It felt tremendous. It felt great for Obafemi to stand in that ring and get that over against Paul Heyman, who was the best talker in the business. If there's anybody that can get anything over, it's Paul Heyman. For Obafemi to stand across from him and deliver that promo on Monday Night Raw, I'm going to go first on this one. I'm picking Obafemi. He has to win this match. He has to win this match. After a promo like that, he has to win this match. But who do you guys have in this one between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi? I'm picking Obafemi. Lewis picked Obafemi. I just got to pick Obafemi on this one.
That promo segment, for people who didn't watch NXT, because I didn't see anything special from it, because he's been cutting promos like that. He was cutting promos like that in NXT. So I always knew that ability was within him. But it got exposed to a whole new audience of people that didn't watch NXT. And it was his best promo ever. This is simple. Oba wins, and the match shouldn't be no longer than maybe 10 minutes. It's very simple. Obafemi has to come out on top. If he doesn't come out on top, your booking track record will show that's going to take a shit ton of time for you to rebuild his momentum, because your booking lately is not giving any source of positivity to show that if he loses, that you guys will have him recover. He needs to come out on top. This is simple. Fall from grace. 1, 2, 3. If Obafemi does not win this match, it's going to be a fucking problem. And plus, this match is going to be on not ESPN2 like Saturday night. This is Sunday. So it's going to be on the main ESPN program to kick off the show. All right? This is main ESPN. You don't need Brock Lesnar coming out on top. I don't give a damn what the circumstances are. I don't give a damn about his track record with ESPN and MMA and all that stuff. No. Obafemi needs to win this match. Point blank, period. And if he doesn't win this match, fuck you, WWE creative.
I just got to say this. I do see in a world where Brock Lesnar could come out on top. I do see it in terms of maybe the person interferes on Brock's behalf. Maybe the Vision get involved. Maybe that sets up Obafemi's next feud. I could see it. But with everything going on, that promo, the way he captivates everybody, the way the crowd is surrounding him in energy, is following him, hanging on his every word, you just got to go Obafemi. I don't think this could be any other way. As Brian said passionately, I don't see how this cannot be Obafemi getting this win. He's just on a tremendous upswing. They've kind of hit the ball rolling with him, Trick, and Javon on the call-ups. I just got to go Obafemi, man. I cannot see Brock Lesnar winning this match. I can see it, but everything is heading towards Obafemi, man. Who do you have in this one, Sonny? Who do you have?
Well, the psychology of the business is, folks, the senior wrestler makes the younger wrestler look good, and the favor is returned at some point to the senior wrestler. So I think if we're going to run this story over and over a little bit longer, I think Brock and Paul Heyman get the win here somehow. We've not seen an off-the-chain Brock Lesnar yet. We've not seen I'm ready for you in the ring Brock Lesnar yet. What I've seen is Brock Lesnar continue to elevate Oba to a certain level. And I think if Brock is going to retire in a few months from now, people are beginning to speculate based on what Brock has said about wanting to retire in a few months, I think he gets to win here. I think his background is going to kick in. Am I a Brock Lesnar fan? Not particularly. But in terms of storytelling and endearment of these two warrior athletes, and that's what they are, I think it's going to go Brock's way this time.
This is against my better judgment. Because I think Brock Lesnar, I picked him to win before this. But it's just like, against my better judgment, and just because I'm just going to be a fan for a moment, I got to go over Femi. I understand what you're saying, Sonny. I feel like there's a lot more meat on the bone they can do with this matchup. But yeah, I got to go over Femi. Me, Brian, and Lewis.
They're sure going to retire Brock at this point. I mean, now if they're looking to retire Brock at WrestleMania, then yeah, over. But Brock, but to me, Brock's like any of the other underdogs who need a W. At this point, Brock needs a W to keep going if he wants to tell his story in WWE. So that's my opinion. And I liked Oba in NXT. It's nothing against Oba. It's my analytical, psychological frame of mind that makes me pick Brock for this night. I just don't think we've seen an off-the-hook Brock Lesnar yet.
This is a tough one. It shouldn't be a tough one.
It shouldn't be.
But I can definitely understand why you picked Brock Lesnar, because I wanted to pick Brock Lesnar.
I didn't get totally booed. I got booed on Wrestling Spotlight.
Oh my goodness!
But that was okay. That was okay. I can take the hits. I'm through.
You've taken more heat,
Sonny. Longer than y'all.
You've taken more heat, Sonny. You've taken more heat.
I don't mind some heat.
But it's just, oh man, yeah. I gotta go. I'm gonna go with my feelings on this one. I gotta go over Femi. Because, and then just to play devil's advocate, this is what I wanted to say. Because if Obafemi wins this match, he instantly becomes the #1 contender. Yeah. For the title, right? Like, there's no other place to go when you defeat Brock Lesnar. And that makes a ton of sense. Are they going to do that, though, is the question. And, man.
I think you should. Do the exact same
I agree.
That you did when
have we seen... In truth, to everyone's feelings about this, have we seen a true off-the-hook 10 straight minutes of Brock Lesnar against Obafemi in an all-out that this is what Brock Lesnar can do? No, we haven't. Not yet.
We haven't seen it.
And I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep.
And this is different. This is the different feeling than when he fought Omos a couple years ago at WrestleMania, where he tried to make Omos look good and stuff like that. Obafemi is the worthy challenger to Brock Lesnar.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, see, with Omos, it was more just so let's just find a giant for Brock Lesnar to slay. And the build for it was kind of make it seem like it was in that direction. Like, okay, Omos is just here so Brock can look impressive. Like the build for it definitely seemed like that was what they were going to do. So this is definitely night and day.
What I did like about one of the angles to this was Paul Heyman said Brock beat 8 men before getting in the ring with Oba. So, I mean, you're a little worn out after that. We've not seen gentlemen come to the center of the ring, ding, everyone stay out of the way and go. We've not seen that yet. At WrestleMania, we may.
That's why Paul Heyman's the best. Because to add those little tidbits, are great. like that. It's like Jerry Lawler on commentary saying all those little nitwit things. Like, it's just those little things to the story that just add a little humor to it to break things up that make him one of the best. But me, Brian, and Lewis are going Obafemi. Sonny's going Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, the beast.
Let's get into the first title match on the second night. We got the 6-pack Intercontinental title ladder match. Penta the champion coming in, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and a returning Rey Mysterio, who was recently cleared and going to be in this matchup. Who do you guys have in this ladder match, 6-pack challenge ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship?
Like I said on Wrestling Spotlight, ladder matches at WrestleMania for the IC title always deliver, and the last two that they have in WrestleMania 31 and 32 respectively, both of those ladder matches delivered, and this one is definitely going to over deliver. It was very wise of them to actually have this ladder match be on ESPN, because that's really going to be going to draw fans in to make them purchase the ESPN app, because they're going to go balls to the wall. They're going to see a lot of high spots. There's going to be a lot of action. I have Penta retaining, but Javon Evans is going to be the MVP of this match. I feel like that when they are going through spots for this match, I feel like they're going to come up with a whole bunch of stuff for him to do. I feel like he's going to do something so innovative that we haven't seen before, or he's going to take something that we've seen before and take it to a whole nother level. I mentioned on Wrestling Spotlight the very first Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 21. Where you had Edge winning the match. I mean, Edge won the match, but I felt like, Shelton Benjamin was in that match too, and he was kind of like the MVP of the match because he was doing things that we hadn't seen in ladder matches before, like running up the ladder and knocking Chris Jericho off. We had never seen that before. So I think with this match, Javon Evans is going to do something of that nature. And as an aside, I loved what they did on Raw, kind of having Rusev be the one to stand out on top and dominate everybody. He hasn't been presented in that light in such a long time, and I'm glad that they finally kind of reminded people like, yo, this guy's legit. He hasn't been presented really that way since his feud with Sheamus over the summer. So I'm glad that they featured him on Monday Night Raw to show that like how much of a threat he can be. But I have Penta retaining.
Who do you got in this one, Sonny?
Well, I sat down before I went on air with my other regular show, Wrestling Spotlight, and I weighed this all out. And Rey Mysterio doesn't need to win. He comes out, he puts on a good fight. He's in there maybe longer than some of them. I think he has bigger ambitions, maybe even a world title run or something of that nature at this point before he retires. And I have been a number one supporter of Penta since he entered the WWE, but this title changes hands so frequently that I think it's going to be my man Siobhan Evans' night to really shine. I think he climbs the ladder and he gets to win. And I want to say this on record, and I may point this out again in the commentary toward the end of the broadcast this evening, but I noticed Siobhan Evans about a year and a half ago before the world began talking about him, and Gerald Bentley can go to the show that I first mentioned him on and get it out of the Wrestling Spotlight archives and play it. I just saw a hot talent there that knew what he was doing and could deliver, and I was mystified that Siobhan wasn't getting a lot of interview airtime at that point in time, and now he's getting a little bit of it. And this kid's just going to go far and break all kinds of standing records in WWE, whether he gets hurt once in a while or not. He's still growing into his wrestling body and developing. We're going to see him get bigger in the coming years. He's just 21 years old. He's the youngest ever WWE wrestler to sign, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor here. I think it's going to be a blue miracle, and Siobhan Evans is going to climb the ladder.
Oh man, I want to go Javon Evans. That will make him the youngest Intercontinental Champion. I believe the record's held by Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy was 23 when he won the title.
I think so.
So that stands for 2 decades that he's been since he's had that record, right? Shout out North Carolina. And I want to go Javon Evans because it would just make sense. It would be a star-making moment for him. But Penta just got the title for me. Penta's been on a roll with the title. I feel like there's still a lot more that you can do with him in that. I don't know if they're going to put him in a tag team with his brother as yet. He's been on a roll. He's been kicking ass. I know on SmackDown they've been changing the title a lot. The U.S. title, going back and forth between multiple people. Sami Zayn back to Sami, Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, and they've been kind of carrying the torch over there. I could see it on Raw, them now using that game plan to get guys over and stuff like that. Javon Evans would have a plethora of challengers that he can go after between everyone, especially in this match with Dragon Lee and JD and Rusev and Ray and stuff like that. Maybe even Dom setting up another rematch with that. There's so many places they can go with this. Damn. It's for me. It's either between Javon or Penta, and I think it's too soon
Flip a
to take
quarter.
the time.
To take a quarter and flip it.
Don't have one with me. Yeah, I gotta go Penta. I think it's too early. I think they're gonna really try to showcase Penta in this one, because Penta's kind of been showcased on Netflix and stuff like that. But I feel like to the world, they're gonna try to really showcase him, and where Javon can play the Shelton Benjamin role, where he's putting all these high spots and making an impressive showing. I think Rusev can be like Kane in that first Money in the Bank ladder match, where he was just being a monster and a brute and stuff like that. And we're trying to figure out how he's going to climb this ladder and stuff like that. But I got to go Penta. I want to go Javon. If there's a second pick, I want to go Javon. But my first pick, I'm going to go Penta retaining the title. And kind of just continuing, maybe everybody just chasing through him throughout the summer and stuff like that. I feel like that can elevate somebody else to eventually defeat him. And maybe he'll go into a tag team maybe in the fall or something like that. But as of right now, me and Brian are going Penta. Lewis and Sonny are going Javon. They picked Javon Evans. Let's continue to move on here to the WWE Women's Championship match between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Again, questionable booking for me. They've been trying to interject Io Sky into this. They gave Jade a faction. They've been trying to dress this up between the two. Where I was fine with just their online back and forth, kind of like these two musclehead women that are just trying to go after each other. These two physically impressive women at the top of their game. Rhea's one of the best in the world. Jade's trying to prove that she's the best in the world. I thought they should have just kept it as that. But this is coming to a head here. Who do you guys have in this one for the WWE Championship between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley?
I think for Jay Cargill, Brian, if I may, I think for Jay Cargill, it's a little a little too late in her image at this point to outshine Rhea Mommy Ripley. Rhea Ripley has returned to her former aggressive self. If they keep this a non-interference match, I don't think Jay Cargill has a prayer in the world for beating it off the chain Rhea Mama Ripley. The only thing I'll get into this in the commentary in a little bit. She's got one concern I have, but she's at the top of her game now. She's kicking butt and taking names. And my only concern is if Rhea wins the title here, how does it continue to unfold between her and Io Sky? Because the two are going to go head to head over the title at some point, and that'll be a fresh angle for the title run or chase for the championship. Mm-hmm. I don't blame Jade for her inability to perform. Again, I follow the creative board team. They didn't build Jade up right during this reign as the defending champion. She's worked for every W she's gotten one way or the other, but it just hasn't come across as she's the dominant champion figure until real recently. And I think we should have been seeing this 6 months ago out of Jade. Is my take on it. I admire for her physique, her looks, her appearance. She has it all. I'm told. I've read that she's going out for a movie in Hollywood to play a villain in that or something. I think she'll do great there. But creatives have done a sorry job in promoting her overall ability in the ring, and egg on them all the way around.
Yeah, you can make the case. Yeah, you can make the case that Jade winning the WWE Women's title has been a curse because first she wins the title and then she's feuding with Michin. Then Michin gets hurt. Then B-Fab. Then B-Fab gets hurt. Now Michin and B-Fab are with her in this stable. And from a look, and we talked about this before, from a look standpoint, it fits But it makes absolutely no sense why they would be together. Why would you want to team up with the woman that essentially put you guys on the shelf to begin with? I mean, that's the reason why this whole thing hasn't really clicked with people. I mean, they may look like they belong together, but there's no reason for them to be together. Jade's entire booking since winning the title has been atrocious, if we want to be honest. And this women's feud with Rhea Ripley, I have taken no positive qualities from it at all, because it hasn't really clicked. It hasn't clicked between them. I mean, Daniel, you mentioned their social media back and forth. Honestly, I don't know why they didn't just keep to that, because literally that was controversial. That was different. That was blurring the lines between fiction and reality. Because I actually thought for a second that was actually legit. That they weren't kind of shooting for the fans. That they literally were taking like real like cheap shots at one another. So if they had stayed within that realm, at least there would have been the question of, is this real or not? Because right now, what we're getting with both of them, it has been atrocious. I mean, we're getting these situations where Rhea is having these 2-minute matches with B-Fab, and then Jade and Nia, not Nia, but
It's
Jade,
literally the same thing that they were doing with B-Fab, Michin versus Jade, where they had 2-minute matches, and now you're doing it with Rhea Ripley.
I know, it's like I said, this feud has been ass backwards. There's been nothing, like I said, there's been nothing positive that you can take for it. I'm at the point right now where, like, let's just get Jade a clean win, and let Rhea and Io go back to Monday Night Raw, and then let's just keep progressing with Jade in this new stable, because like Sonny said, there really is no, if Rhea is still in the tag team with Io Sky. I mean, where do you go if Rhea is your champion on SmackDown? I mean, and then essentially what you do is you essentially just kind of destroy the credibility of this new group with Jade, because like if she's not champion, then why should we even care at all about this group? I mean, you take the title away from them, then you're really looking at what, a lesser version of Pure Fusion Collective. I can't believe I said the name of that stable, but anyway. So I got Jade. I have Jade retaining for that reason. Like I said, they've dropped the ball with her title reign. They dropped the ball with this feud, and it's really unfortunate. We miss Bianca Belair, man, because this is really supposed to be her match and her feud.
They have dropped the ball with Jade's development, because she hasn't had the ring reps. She has the look and stuff like that, but she hasn't had the ring reps. She hasn't been given the opportunity to build her character. And even though they're making her look like a star, she has the look, she has the photo shoot, she has the title. She doesn't have the title defenses. She doesn't have the dominant streak. She doesn't have the mean streak. She actually beat Io on SmackDown last week, which shocked the hell out of me. I didn't even think that was happening. And the fact that she's champion, it should happen, right? In terms of just patriarchy and stuff like that. Like, it should happen, but everyone was kind of like, ew, we don't want Io to lose, right? Like, that's the kind of feeling we got. And it wasn't like she cheated her or anything like that. But it's just all right, so this is my line of thinking. I think Rhea Ripley's going to stay on SmackDown. I think this is the group the reason why they formed the group with Jade, Michin, and B-Fab is to give a vehicle for the return of Bianca Belair in terms of at some point. So I think Jade wins the title. Maybe they beat down Rhea Ripley. Io comes out. She gets beat down. And then Bianca comes out. And Bianca is the person to go through this group. And then we finally have the Jade versus Bianca match. Maybe at SummerSlam, they build that up into SummerSlam. But I think this is going to be the driving force. Maybe even to bring back Bianca Belair to be in a feud with Rhea Ripley as well, because they have a lot of heat from last year's WrestleMania and stuff like that, in terms of Rhea interjecting herself into that title match when she didn't have a place in that match between her and Io. I think there's still a little bit of more story there. And then I think we can get a dream match between those two, even maybe in a triple threat between Jade, Bianca, and Rhea, where on paper, if you told me that was coming in 2 years ago, that this could be a potential match, I think we all would be for it. So I think this can be a way that they can interject and kind of put all these stories together and make it mean something and make it more meaningful. Maybe break up Rhea right now, in terms of Rhea Ripley and Io right now, and have them go on separate paths. But I got Jade winning this one. I think they've done a disservice with her booking and stuff like that. I think even Rhea right now. Rhea won the Rumble. No, Rhea run the Elimination Chamber, right? Yeah, she won the Elimination Chamber. This is supposed to be something that's building into something that's monumental. And I feel like they dropped the ball on Rhea. I feel like they just picked Rhea because she has star power. Jade has star power. Let's put them together and make something happen. When it's like, that's not enough for this. I don't think that's enough for this right now. I think there's a little bit more they can do with this. But I think this is a driving force for eventually the return of Bianca Belair at some point. Maybe at WrestleMania. I haven't seen anything. I know she's been posting the physical therapy and stuff like that. Maybe it can be a ruse. After Seth Rollins believed nothing. Me, Lewis, and Brian are going Jade. Funny being the odd man again, picking Rhea Ripley to pick up the title there and carry the title after WrestleMania 42. Let's keep moving on here. We got Sami Zayn versus that man Trick Williams and his Lemon Pepper Steppers for the United States title. This has been booked on since Trick Williams has come to SmackDown, has been a thorn in Sami Zayn's side, kind of just talking down to him, saying he's not as high class as him. They're not on the same level. It's been great between these two, and I think Sami has kind of revitalized himself a little bit here, kind of looking at the fans saying, hey, what did I do to get booed? Like, what am I doing? I've been the babyface. I've been the guy that's been the fighting guy, fighting from underneath the underdog and stuff like that. And Trick Williams is kind of talking down to him. What do you guys make of this one? Who do you guys have winning and leaving WrestleMania as the United States champion?
Well, what I'm saying here is I'm saying Sami Lightning in the Bottle Zayn making Trick Williams shine even brighter than he was before they began to rival. And that's what you do if you're the senior wrestler and a younger talent comes in. Oftentimes, the senior wrestler will make the younger wrestler shine to a point. I think Sami is surprised at this point in time how much Trick is shining. Mm-hmm. But Sami just got the title, so for them to strip Sami of the title this quick, this soon, I don't see it happening. I see the rival going a little bit more. What I am liking in WWE storytelling is we're seeing more rival-type matches, and even though that's dragging it out a little bit more than we're used to, the quality is better, I think, in the ring than it was a short few months ago. I noticed on AEW too that they are hitting the ring harder in their bump taking, and that's making for a better match. People aren't getting up as fast as they were, say, 3 months back. So somebody said something to somebody about making it look good out there, and in WWE it was probably Triple H. I think Sami's going to continue to help Trick shine a little bit more. I think he'll eventually lose to Trick, but I think it's too soon. I think the belt drop to Sami was unexpected, as Sami was hoping to be in a world title run position or at least a heavyweight title position. But, you got to take what they give you sometimes, and this is what they gave him. So, He's the underdog story, whether he likes it or not. He's just playing that role, and he can't seem to shake it. So I'm going for Sami here, as much as I like Trick.
Sonny, I just want to say this: the fact that it's so soon is the exact reason why I think they're going to go in the direction of going with Trick Williams winning. Because we've seen on SmackDown, they've been telling this story since Sami Zayn lost to Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble of him, being frustrated, being in these backstage segments with the baby faces, be talking to Cody, and Cody trying to tell him to seize the moment, seize the opportunity, and then when the baby faces walked out, Sami is getting frustrated with himself, knocking things over because mentally he's going through it. He's realizing now that I can't be this happy-go-lucky babyface character if I want to be world champion. It's something he's never done. If you want to accomplish something you've never done, you got to be able to do things that you've never done, that you've really never done before. and I think they're really kind of delving into that. And we know that Trick is an up and comer, one of the hottest young talent that they have on the roster right now, and you see it during the week with the WrestleMania promotion. I mean, the man's done so many interviews. I mean, he was on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark. He's done a whole bunch of stuff with Complex. He's been on ESPN. I mean, this is definitely a guy that they're positioning that he's going to be huge for them down the line. Hell, there's a case they might be made that he might even be competing for a world title at next year's WrestleMania with the pace that they kind of got him on right now. And I just feel like that Trick is going to come out on top here, just based upon the storytelling. Now, Sami did win the title about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I feel like the fact that it's so soon makes it the perfect reason that you go in that direction, because they've already been telling this story of Sami Zayn losing it. Now, just imagine losing the United States title after winning it 3 weeks ago. Losing it at WrestleMania against a young up-and-comer like Trick Williams, and Sami finally snaps. And he finally snaps and attacks Trick Williams, and then you got your double turn. You got your heel Sami Zayn, and you got this babyface Trick Williams, which the crowd is already. I mean, you don't even have to necessarily change any of his character dynamic. Just have him still be the same Trick Williams, be the tweener Trick Williams. The crowd's still going to eat it up. Anyway, because they're already loving. They're loving the entrance. They're loving his presence, his aura. So you really don't have to change much with Trick. And I just feel like with Sami losing the title at WrestleMania after winning it 3 weeks ago, that kind of lines up with the storytelling that they're currently doing, with him eventually losing his shit and essentially becoming a heel after.
Only negative thing I have to say about Trick at this point is he needs to quit. He needs to either say "woo" better or drop it all together. It's not making him look good when he woos.
Yeah, he's got to find a way to get that in there. And especially as Ric Flair's, right? So not everybody can do it, right?
Yeah.
But
and I noticed Trick about a year ago in NXT, and Joe asked me who I thought the next picks were going to be, guys, and toot my own horn again, but toot, I had Trick in the lineup as being the next pick for the main roster, and they picked him a couple weeks after I said that. So
this one's tricky because everyone's been talking about the double turn. Everyone's been talking about putting Trick Williams in this stratosphere, right? Because he's hit the ground running.
Fly.
He's hit the ground running. It's kind of reminiscent of The Rock. It's kind of reminiscent of Steve Austin when they first came in terms of just captivating everybody from the entrance, from the promos, from the crowd engagement. Everything has been hitting. The story that they've been telling with Sami Zayn has basically cheated in the past to win the title, to retain the title. They've been building this up. And I can see Trick Williams winning and then sending Sami over the top, and maybe that's how we get the full heel turn of Sami.
Mm-hmm.
But why not just have him cheat at WrestleMania? Why not have him cheat at WrestleMania? That will cement him as a heel.
Yeah.
And against a guy like Trick Williams, who has been cocky and stuff like that, has been able to hold his own in the ring and stuff like that, I can see that being the catalyst for a double turn. And even getting guys like Ilya Dragunov, maybe getting Carmelo Hayes back in the fold in terms of challenging him on SmackDown, and Sami kind of being the grizzled veteran carrying this title against these youngsters, right? Against these young up-and-comers that come in and try to go after him. I can see that being the story. But yeah, it's so tough because I want to pick Trick Williams, but I think the swerve would be Sami winning and cheating and everybody knowing that he cheated. Trick Williams at WrestleMania to retain the title. I think that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Sami. Lewis is also going Sami Zayn, and Seth is going Sami Zayn. So there's 3 against 1. We got a reverse on that one. Yeah. Brian picking Trick Williams. As bad as I want to pick Trick Williams, I just think the way the booking is, I'm going against my better judgment. I'm going Sami Zayn. Let's keep moving on here. This match, we got Dominik Mysterio versus Finn Balor. They have already spoiled the demon character making a return for this one. I don't think it's the right time for this. Who do you guys have? I don't know what to make of this feud because this has been so long in the making in terms of saying, hey, we want the Judgment Day to break up. We want the Judgment Day to break up. And now out of nowhere, we get Dom versus Finn. and now we got the demon coming out of anywhere. Like, we saw the demon come out against Edge at Hell in a Cell for WrestleMania. I don't know if the demon should be coming out for this one. But who do you guys have in this one between these two?
I'm hoping Finn Balor. I did a commentary about 6 weeks ago on Finn Balor, Brian, and Daniel, and he has had such a long history in the game. He doesn't need the demon to beat Dominik Mysterio. I think a win for Finn here would cement his having been kicked out of Judgment Day, and thrust him into being a singles competitor again, and being taken more seriously. I didn't like any of the Finn Balor CM Punk outcomes. I'll go on record and say this about that. I think it was a racial outcome there by a little bit, even that CM Punk got the win over Finn. It just didn't make sense to me why Finn wouldn't have gotten the W then too. He's such a great technical wrestler in the ring on his own and by himself that he could be world champion at this point. I mean, the guy can go 45, 55 minutes. It doesn't matter, and not be blown up. And in the case of a guy like Randy Orton, he's 6-something, 280 pounds. Unless they change Randy's presentation during Cody Rhodes, to me right now, Randy gets a little blown up after about 10, 15 minutes in the ring. And I blame that on creatives too. And, you want to showcase your bigger stars in better light. And right now, the stars just aren't getting a lot of light in this thrown together WrestleMania that we're being given. And that's what I think of a lot of these matches at this moment in this contest. It's not even on the same level that last year's WrestleMania was, in my opinion. So I'm a little disappointed in some of the bookings of it.
Well, if you go back to Dominik Mysterio's promo from Monday Night Raw, I mean, he kind of telegraphs where the direction of this match. I mean, he's talking to Adam Pearce, and he even mentions that, like, I thought I was facing Finn, and now I'm facing the demon, which clearly goes to show me that Finn Balor, that the demon is winning this match. I definitely think that this is definitely not just a one-off. Obviously, the breakup of Judgment Day was humongous for all of us, and it's something that we've been talking about for an excess of like 6 or 7 months. We've just been waiting and waiting and waiting. First, Liv got hurt, and then it kind of got put on hold. Then Liv came back, and then they started talking about being dominant again. And now here we are. And now here we are now with Finn kind of turning babyface. I alluded to the demon coming back months ago. Daniel, like you said, you felt like the feud didn't call for it, didn't need for it. He definitely doesn't need to be the demon to beat little Dominik Mysterio. I honestly think the demon is being brought up more to just sell tickets. And as much as he doesn't need to use the demon persona, it is a very awe-inspiring to see. I mean, every time he has been the demon, I mean, it's been great match performances. It's a great look. It's different. It's unique. So it's definitely going to be a breath of fresh air to see the demon after, I think it was what we saw 4 years ago at WrestleMania against Edge. So it's going to be a good look to see it. We don't necessarily need to see it. I have the demon coming out on top. Dominik is probably going to come out on Monday Night Raw and pretty much say, "Yeah, you didn't beat me. The demon beat me." And the future.
They should play that up for sure. I'm going Finn too. If you're going to bring the demon back, you don't bring him back to lose to Dominik Mysterio. They had him lose to Edge. They had him lose to Roman Reigns at a point in time. Don't do this. Don't have him lose to Dominik Mysterio. Dom doesn't need the win. Dom is over like Rover. He can do anything in terms of professional wrestling right now. And for Dom, he's the AAA champion, triple I. Shout out to Ethan Page and Chelsea Green. But looking at it from this standpoint, it's just like, if you're going to bring the demon back, if you're going to get Finn back in this trajectory of being in a main event in terms of being a single star, you have him win this match. And my only thing is this: I don't know if the feud continues for this afterwards. I don't want it to, but I think the right choice here is picking Finn and giving Finn this win, giving him a WrestleMania moment, and projecting him, pushing him into a different stratosphere than being in the Judgment Day, being associated with the Judgment Day. Hopefully he's able to get more opportunities. Hopefully that match with CM Punk that took place in London, in the UK, gave him a good showing, a good positive reaction to creative, the people in the back, like, hey, there's a lot that we can do with this. And especially when we get into our final match, I think there's a lot, there's more directions they can go in with this, especially with Finn Balor.
And I'd like to say, I don't mind seeing the Demon come back with Finn Balor. I just think the first 2 or 3 wins he should get on his own and then bring the Demon back. After he's reestablished himself as a singles competitor. I think that would give more weight to the Demon image.
I think the Demon, I agree with what you're saying in terms of bringing out the it will show a different side that he always, what originally the Demon was for, is that, hey, I got to go to a different level for this one. Exactly. In terms of building that status, in terms of building the feud up, right? I kind of want to treat the Demon like we treat Hell in a Cell now, where it's once in a blue, like it's only for the heated rivalry moments. That's what it was supposed to be for. And now it just became this thing to sell tickets and stuff like that. And it's like, nah, this needs to be something a little more. It reminds me.
It reminds me a great deal of Cactus Jack and Mankind when Cactus would flip from Cactus Jack into Mankind. We all knew when Mankind showed up that it was for the own. So.
And especially when he brought Cactus Jack back out for Triple H multiple times, and then he brought it out for Randy Orton and stuff like that. Like that added to those feuds. All right, and he got those guys over.
Of a worker.
he got those guys over. So I think that's the thing that we kind of want a little bit more mystique with the Demon. But we're all going Finn Balor for that one. Let's get into our main event of WrestleMania 42. We got CM Punk, the fighting champion, going up against Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, trying to regain it all. This has been building up over the past couple weeks. Nothing has been to me better than their first promo. If they would have did their first promo and just let it be a backstage segments or promos and stuff like that, I would have been fine. They let these guys get physical, beat each other up a little bit, to the point where CM Punk's apologizing for bringing up Roman's family and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting here. I believe this is going to be one hell of a match. But who do you guys have for the World Heavyweight Championship? I believe this is I think this is either the second or third time this has been defended in the main event of WrestleMania. I'm not sure on that. I got to check that. But who do you guys have in this one? CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship.
So even on Wrestling Spotlight, Lewis and I, we had even talked about how this match really is a toss-up and how hard it is to pick. To go back to the promo segment that they had on Monday Night Raw, they kind of admitting to one another that their hatred for one another, a lot of their hatred for one another is really just envy for what the other person has been able to do. I felt that for Roman Reigns, as far as like character work goes, it was tremendous because in that first promo segment, which is honestly becoming it's like the gift and the curse to this feud. It was so great that everything that they've done before has failed to live up to it. So it's almost like it was that one promo segment ended up being like the climax of the entire feud because nothing has lived up to it. But even within that segment, when he said I hate you, I've always hated you, you never really got the reasons for it. You kind of just assumed it was based upon the comments that Punk made on Colt Cabana's podcast and how essentially that kind of put more pressure, kind of put more pressure and hatred on Roman Reigns throughout the years. But then when you hear him say, I hate the fact that you were gone for all this time, and yet the crowd kept chanting your name in the 10 years that you were gone, which is true. Yeah, there were a lot of CM Punk chants during those years where he wasn't there. So I like that aspect of it. Them kind of going the whole honesty approach, especially with CM Punk's promo. From a formulaic standpoint, it definitely was, good, great mic work. But you just wish that the things were to the intensity and level that their first promo segment was. Mm-hmm. That's what you wish for. Well, but I have CM Punk retaining the title. I feel like Roman Reigns is going to lose for a very specific reason. Either it's going to be somebody that he's going to end up feuding with next, or it's going to be somebody that we're not going to end up seeing the match until SummerSlam. But there's going to be a very, very specific reason why Roman Reigns doesn't win, and I mentioned it on Wrestling Spotlight. His last title year run. We really don't need another situation of Roman Reigns winning the title and then the title is essentially being held hostage again and probably won't be defended again until like maybe 2 or 3 months down the line. I don't want another situation like that. I feel like his last title run was so special, was so unique that we don't need to go back down that road again. So therefore, I got Punk retaining and Roman loses for a very specific reason.
Mm-hmm. Who do you have in this one, Sonny?
Well, 2 years ago, when I started doing these podcast appearances and getting solid work on shows and different things, I didn't know who Roman Reigns was. I didn't follow wrestling at that point in time. I was thrusted into the podcast scene as a result of doing an interview with Gerald Bentley, and I'm appreciative of that night and our 09 chemistry that he and I share between us in terms of our professionalism and respect for one another. But it took me a good 3 to 6 months of watching WWE to get the feel of who Roman Reigns was and his importance to the industry as a whole. There's been a lot of things said, him telling Punk, I hate you, but he clearly pointed out why he hated him. He caused division between his family and he. He took his wise man, and he even walks out like him. So he touched on all that with Roman. And if you're not a number one contender and you don't have a title belt in this day and time, it's fashionable to take a few days or weeks off to be home with the family. Now, in my day, we ran every weekend wrestling for 14 years. I tore the thing up getting it done to the point that it costed me my family and along the way several beautiful girlfriends. I know 2 things, guys, about life. I know fast women and professional wrestling. Don't ever forget that. That's what I know. I know it hands down. I could walk into any room and get a date with anybody I put my mind to, married or single. I've always had that ability for the longest time. Used to drive my mama bananas, but anyway, doing it. But just get them talking to you. It's usually as simple as that. But in professional wrestling, Roman Reigns is the history maker. He's where the action is. I don't think if he wins on this show at WrestleMania, it's going to be another 4-year run. I think it's going to be a different version of Roman. And he walks out, the ones go up, the flashlights come on, and the place just erupts. It's kind of like an Undertaker moment. And nobody in the history of the game other than Taker has ever gotten that kind of outpour of love, except for maybe Ric Flair. And, it's just one of those rare moments. And I think it's going to be Roman Reigns at the end of the night. I think he's going to upset the world and shock everybody and beat CM Punk. Do I think the rival's going to be over? No. I think the rival will continue, but I think it'll continue as Roman being the champion.
Well said from both of you guys. This is a tough one because everything has been leading up to this moment, right? And since we knew Roman Reigns was going to challenge CM Punk at WrestleMania, ever since that first promo, I was like, I've been ready for this match since that promo, since night one. I didn't need anything else.
I didn't either. I was hoping to see a scrimmage match between the two of them before WrestleMania. That's never happened. So,
or some type of tag match between the two where they're opposing each other and stuff like that, or something.
Yeah, a little bit of work between them.
I don't want to see the brawling as much and stuff like that, but it's like, I know they've been trying to be like, hey, don't give away your main event and stuff like that by these guys getting physical and stuff like that.
Exactly.
They kind of subdued it this week on Raw, where it was kind of like, hey, they didn't come to blows. Like, it was just kind of like a stare down and stuff like that. This is such a big monumental match for me because there's so much going into it. This is CM Punk's first main event of WrestleMania as champion, right? Like, he's leading off the show. And when he's talked about pursuit in wrestling, he wanted to main event WrestleMania. He main evented night one. A year later, he's main eventing night two. This is monumental for him. And as a note, this is the fourth time the World Heavyweight title has been defended in the main event. So there's WrestleMania 21, 24, 20, and now it's going to be WrestleMania 42. So this will be the fourth time that it will be defended. This is so tough because I can see Roman Reigns winning this title and there being a host of challengers for him in terms of Femi, in terms of Finn Balor. There's a lot of guys that you can throw at between these two guys, between these two. CM Punk as well. I can see Femi versus CM Punk. I can see Finn Balor versus CM Punk again. Multiple guys can go up against both of these guys because they're A1 guys in terms of professional wrestling right now, in terms of promos, in terms of wrestling, in terms of captivating the audience and everything like that. It's very difficult to pick between these two. Whew. But again, I just got to keep thinking back to what Roman Reigns said in terms of he's given all these guys enough time, right? And it's time for him to get that title back. This is Roman Reigns' 11th WrestleMania main eventing.
Yes, sir.
Like that, you never would have thought you would see that. CM Punk has been a Valiant champion. He's been a fighting champion and stuff like that. But I feel like this feud can continue afterwards. I think Roman wins the title. I don't know. I don't want any interference in this one.
None.
I would love for there to be no interference in this one.
Straight boom.
I don't want The Rock to get involved. I don't want Paul Heyman to get involved. I don't want anyone. I don't want Gunther. I don't want anybody to get involved in this one. I want this to be a straight match between these two, 30, 40 minutes. Give me a banger. And give me something to remember WrestleMania on the way out. But yeah, I'm going Roman Reigns on this one. And especially if we don't know how much time Roman has left or whatever the case may be, I can see him winning the title here and kind of setting up the next person to win the title. I can see that. But yeah, that's our picks for WrestleMania 42. A long list. I will post these as well on social, Brian. I'm pretty sure you will too. Sonny, thanks for joining us as always. We'll pick it up next week as the fallout of WrestleMania 42 and the Raw after.
Yep.
We'll see what happens with this one. 13 matches on the card that's taking place this Saturday and Sunday. Can't wait for it to see it. Lewis will be returning hopefully next week as we return here. But as for this one, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining. Sonny, as always, thanks for joining. WrestleMania 42 this weekend. Can't wait. As always, kick out on 2. Until next time.
1, 2.